Hello, it's Marshall Burnham, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about putting on our Appli-Kate product. Our Appli-Kate product is a raised dimensional glaze. It has frit in it, so it needs to be fired for it to be permanently on your piece. And it would come off if we didn't use it that way, if we didn't have it fired on. And you just fire it to an 06. It can go as high as a cone 10, but I haven't taken it that far yet. And it can also be used on glass. So that's another project we can talk about at another time. But what it is like I said, it's a dimensional glaze. And this is the project that we worked on the other day and had the dark green texture glaze added to it. So it has been base coated twice with the dark green texture glaze. I have it glazed on the inside so that it's usable when this is all over with and done. We have a nice little vase. And so tonight what I'm going to do is just show you how to put on the Appli-Kate. The Appli-Kate is a thick product. It's thick in this little jar. You only have to put on one coat when you're using it, and a little jar like this will do a lot of things, and it'll go quite a ways. It'll kind of surprise you how far you can go with this. But I like to use this little flat type palette knife that we use to stir with, and you want it to be the thickness of cake frosting. Now this cake frosting in this aqua, this is a brand new bottle. It's a little bit on the thick side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little pipette and put just a couple of little drops of water in it, and then I'm going to stir it and stir it up, get it nice and smooth and creamy. And you can actually have the lids be completely off this product, be completely set up hard as a rock, and add water and just start stirring it, and it'll come right back to life. So that's another wonderful thing about this little product, because it has a forever shelf life. There's no way it can go bad. So what I'm going to do tonight is show you about putting on petals onto a flower. Now what I've already done is I've already got a couple petals started here, so you can see how dimensional they are. And I don't know if I can lift this up and make you see, but if I tip it sideways, you can see how thick they are. And that's exactly how you want these to be on there. And so what I've done, now that the vase is all good and dry, I put my pattern onto a tissue paper. The tissue paper has absolutely no waxy. If you have a waxy side to your tissue paper when you go to use it for patterns, it won't work, because what you're going to do is you're going to lay your pattern onto your piece like this. Then you're going to take a watercolor marker and you're going to draw right over the top of it like this. And when you pick it up, you're going to have the pattern on your piece. So you don't have to try to hold carbon paper or something else underneath there while you're trying to trace and then try to figure out where you've been or where you haven't drawn onto or anything. And also, when you need to go back and put your pattern on or line it back up again, it's pretty easy usually to see through the tissue paper and see how to line up a pattern if you needed to. So once you have your pattern on, once you have your paint stirred up, have it all ready to go, then you're going to use a little number 2 cat's tongue that I really like. This is a Zim brush cat's tongue number 2. And what I like to, I just like the shape of this little brush and how it works to put on the Appli-Kate. So we're going to start with Buttercup. Now I already have 2 petals on. So you can see how I have the 2 petals away from each other, because as you're putting them on, while they're wet, sometimes they can kind of run together just a little bit. They can kind of get up against each other, and then you need to separate them because you want to have definition. That's what's kind of fun about this product, is you can do all this dimensional look to it and then have the line in between. So what I usually do is put a petal on one side, then a petal on the other side, then let it dry a while, go work on another flower, then come back to this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this, make sure this is all stirred up. See, we've been sitting here for a minute while I've been gabbing, and there it is. It's all ready to go. This one's nice. Oh, that's a good one today. That's really nice. Ready to go. All right, so I have my brush. I dip it in the water, tap it out, and now I'm going to put it on my piece. And I always work, no matter which way I'm going, if I'm going inside out or outside in, I always make it so that I'm pulling back towards myself because I have more control. So what you're going to do with this product, have the bottle in your hand, have the brush in the hand that you paint with, scoop it up, plop it down, push it just a little bit, fills in the petal, wipe it out, and there's a petal. This is a really easy little flower I put on here because I want you to get the feel of it. I want you to see how easy it is to work with. So we're going to do another petal on the other side. Scoop it up, plop it down, push it just a little bit. I'm just pushing the top of the product. I'm not pushing clear down to the piece. So there it is. There you go. Now you've got 4 little petals on there. So while that's drying, I'm going to move over here and I'm going to get my little palette knife out again, and I'm going to stir up the orange. Make sure it's really nice and stirred up, because you always want to have it nice and stirred up before you work it, because you don't want to get part way through this and then you can't get it to move for you when you're putting it on here. So with your damp brush again, scoop it up, plop it down on their piece. If you don't get quite enough, just go get a little bit more. Plop it down and pull it to the middle of your petal, or the middle of your flower. You're pulling it right back towards the center. And see how I've got a nice space in there? So after we have filled all this design in, for my next videos, what I'm going to show you how to do is how to come back in here and shade this. And that makes it even have more dimension. So before we quit for this little video, here's the apple green. And that's the one I'm going to use for my leaves. Again, it kind of sounds kind of funny because it's got that sand in it. It's a little bit thick, not much, but, and the other thing is, okay, so I'm just going to put 1 drop in there because it's really close to right where I want it. The other thing you can do with Appli-Kate is if you open it up and you go to use it and it seems like it's really thin and runny, all you got to do is leave that lid off. Sometimes for a couple hours, sometimes I've left it one all day long because it was way too thin. All you got to do is leave it for a little while and it'll thicken itself up. And then you just add the water into it to get back where you want it to be. So now then, I'm going to turn it again here, and I'm going to put in a little leaf. So the little leaf, see, this time I'm going to start on the inside, plop it down, push it back up just a little bit so you can make that leaf. Then I'm going to pull it and pull it to a point, just like that. So easy. Not hard, nothing to be afraid of, easy to use. Now I'm going to pick this up, see if you, I'm going to tip it. See, you can see how dimensional that pattern is. So that's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to fill in all my flowers and my leaves. And then on the next video, I'm going to show you how to shade this and how much fun that and it is to do the shading, and also how it brings this piece to life when you put a little bit of shading. You don't have to shade all the time, but the shading just adds that extra little something to it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.